Esteemed guests, welcome to the 2022 Children's Aid Benefit.
Hello and good evening. When I was 4 years old, my single mom would take me to preschool at the Children's Aid Community Center on Sullivan Street in Soho. I have very fond memories of fun activities like drawing, painting, sculpture with clay, and if memory serves, some of the finest dental work I've ever had, see? Fast forward several decades later, and a somewhat varied professional journey that landed me in the role of ensuring site safety, maintenance, and efficient operations for the Children's Aid headquarters in Harlem, where I am so proud to be part of the mission that helped me find a path of achievement, independence, and success. My name is Damien Eckstein. I'm the facilities, thank you. I'm the facilities manager at Children's Aid headquarters, and I'm a Children's Aid kid.
I can't reflect on my childhood without mentioning Children's Aid. From Wagon Road Camp to Alvin Ailey Camp, to swim lessons and homework help, my 4 siblings and I participated in every program that the Dunleavy Millbank Children's Aid Community Center had to offer. My mother also became a part of the Children's Aid family when she became a custodial worker at the center. Because of the Millbank staff, including a case planner named Casper Lassiter, the trajectory of my education completely changed, and I gained the confidence to pursue a bachelor's and master's degree. Last year, I was looking for a new professional challenge and found an opportunity as a Children's Aid case planner. My personal experience with the child welfare system allowed me to build meaningful relationships with the families I service, and I eagerly look for opportunities to connect them to the programs that helped set me and my family up for success. My name is Alicea Arias. I am a Children's Aid case planner, and I am a Children's Aid kid.
I learned the fundamentals of basketball as a 9-year-old at the Children's Aid Dunleavy Millbank Community Center in Harlem. What started as a fun after-school activity later turned into a life-changing experience when I joined Dr. Carrera's Family Life program. I received sex education, job training, and the skills and motivation to further my education. Millbank was a safe haven for me during a turbulent time in the city's history. Staff showed me what was possible if I looked beyond my block. A few years later, as a college graduate, I went to visit Millbank, and I ran into former CEO Pete Moses. He remembered me and offered me a job as a case manager in Harlem. That opportunity led to many others within Children's Aid, and in 2009, I was appointed director of the center that gave me so many opportunities. I now have the honor of continuing the legacy of providing life-changing experiences for children and families in the neighborhood that I grew up in. My name is Casper Lassiter. I'm the director of the Children's Aid Dunleavy Millbank Center in Harlem, and I'm a Children's Aid kid.
Please welcome Children's Aid President and CEO, Phoebe Boyer.
Good evening, I'm a little over anxious to get started, and I am prepared for the tears that I'm not going to be able to keep. So let's get started. Good evening, everyone. I am so excited to be here with all of you tonight. And a special thanks to our ambassador sponsors. First of all, the Children's Aid Board of Trustees, Leslie and Ashish Bhutani, the Coleman Family Ventures, and Judy and Jamie Dimon. We are so grateful for your generosity in support of our work. Each year, Children's Aid helps nearly 50,000 New York City children, youth, and families navigate uncharted waters. We meet our families in moments of joy and crisis and a million other moments, building a constellation of support. Whether it's a home visit to support parents expecting a newborn, finding a child the right foster care placement, helping a young person on their path to college, or advocating for policies that truly serve our families, we prepare children and youth to grow up strong, healthy, and ready to succeed. Poverty cannot be overcome with a single service delivered at a single point in time. And that's why Children's Aid takes a comprehensive approach, offering more than 100 programs over 40 sites from Staten Island to the Bronx. And last year, we provided nearly 50,000 medical, dental, and mental health appointments. Despite COVID learning loss, 86% of our children in our early childhood programs met or exceeded their school readiness goals. And 98% of our families who received one of our crisis interventions avoided foster care placements. Now, I have to tell you, we are incredibly proud of these outcomes. But the fact is, there's no clean metric for collaboration. And that's the real magic of Children's Aid. When home life and school meet up with social, emotional needs, meet up with healthcare in a post-pandemic but endlessly complicated world, Children's Aid is there. When your compass is busted and you've been hiking for miles, and maybe the clouds start to swell heavy with rain, maybe there's lightning, we're the folks who show up and offer you a ride home. We always say that our alumni are the best example of whether or not Children's Aid works, and you've just met some of them. And it's true, they are. But tonight, I really want to shine a light on the 2,000 unsung heroes that walk alongside our families every step of the way. The Children's Aid staff. Now, in a time when nearly 90,000 childcare workers have left the field, our staff keeps showing up every single day. Miwan Hathgampola works at our early childhood center in Staten Island. He's also the person who opens the building every weekend for repairs, and he single-handedly repainted the entire school to make sure it was ready for opening day for our kiddos. Caroline Sullivan and her team picks up one of our children from his new foster care placement, and they drive him 45 minutes to school each morning so that he can maintain a sense of stability and consistency and see his friends while he adjusts to a new home. And you are never gonna believe this one. But on his way to work, Ruben Arias, one of our security guards, saw a highly sought-after suspect in a murder and a string of stabbings in Manhattan. He jumped off the bus at 6:30 in the morning, flagged some police officers down, and made sure this man was taken into custody. Ruben said, "I just wanted everyone to be safe." Every single person on this staff has worked their tails off. They've adjusted and adapted endlessly to teacher vacancies, to new protocols, vast amounts of learning loss, and mental health challenges, which is why tonight we're honoring the Children's Aid staff. You'll hear from one of our brilliant and talented leaders in just a few minutes. But right now, I would like to ask all, and I mean all of you, that are members of the Children's Aid staff to stand up and be recognized. to all the staff that are here tonight and those who aren't in the room with us, I just want to say thank you. I am both humbled and inspired by your unwavering commitment to our children and families every single day, and I thank you. For nearly 170 years, we have had the distinct honor of supporting children and youth at every stage of development in every key setting. We have changed how we do what we do over time, but we have never, ever changed why. We believe that every child deserves an opportunity to succeed. And if you're here tonight, you are part of that story of success. Being involved with Children's Aid right now means being so in tune with what is necessary to combat the crisis of child poverty that you are willing to stand shoulder to shoulder with our incredible team of experts, that you'll make connections to further our advocacy and use your networks to elevate messages that need to be heard and invest unrestricted support to bolster our efforts. Together, we can continue clearing a path for New York City's children to live a life beyond their wildest dreams. Thank you. Now, I have the distinct pleasure of turning it over to the stars of the evening. They are both from our Hope Leadership Academy in Harlem. Please welcome Sakona Ducour and Darren Manning.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 2022 Children's Aid Benefit. My name is Darren Manning, and I'm a senior at the Manhattan Center for Science and Mathematics.
And I'm Sakuna Ducour, a senior at Harlem Village Academies. We're excited to be here to represent all the young people who thrived because we have Children's Aid in our lives.
We're here tonight to honor the staff of Children's Aid, the people who welcome us, get to know us, teach us, support us, push us, and celebrate with us. I wouldn't be the same without them.
I agree. The facilitators of the HOPE program offer comfort and tough love. It's a combination that works for me. My mother is from the Ivory Coast, and I spent 2 years there with my loud and fun family. I went to 3rd and 4th grade there, so I learned Bambara, my family's language at home, and French, the language at school. When I first came to New York, I thought knowing other languages would seem cool to my classmates. It didn't. Instead, they teased me about my positive outlook and my interests. Slowly, New York squeezed what was loud and fun straight out of me. I tried to ignore what people said, but instead, I internalized it. I'm sure you can understand how bullies act towards a girl in a hijab. I've never even told my parents the worst of it. But what I will tell you is that I've tried to appeal to counselors, and they put me in counseling. The perpetrators were never punished. I got mad. I wasn't the problem. I decided I had enough. I made the decision to stop blaming myself, and I steadily tried to stop letting people hurt me. It worked. I started high school, and I loved it. I was with friends, and we were wild and free. And then y'all know what happened next. Lockdown. By the middle of my sophomore year, I was tired of going to online classes alone in my room. I saw the Children's Aid newsletter in my school's newspaper, and I joined the HOPE program immediately. I loved the facilitators. They were so welcoming and comforting. They talked to you not as a child, but as a real grown person. And they really get to know you too. I talked a lot with Courtney, and she always had a solution to my problems, whether I liked it or not. Sometimes I stay late at program playing Uno with Janju. But that doesn't stop her from telling me to do your work when I'm procrastinating. The HOPE program gave me many professional opportunities, helped me develop my social skills, and the facilitators helped me with my insecurities. They make me braver and ready for college and life. To the staff of Children's Aid, thank you. I stand here tonight in recognition of you. I am so grateful. Thank you, merci, je suis tellement reconnaissant. Iniche.
I've also had my share of bullies. When I started middle school, my classmates were ruthless to me. It made me shy and afraid to reach out to make friends. Throughout middle school, I was alone in every single social situation. No one spoke to me. I longed to have the relationships that other people had. At some point, I realized that I was the only one who could change the situation. If no one would reach out to me, I was going to have to reach out to them. I'm a sprinter on my school's track team, and what I like about running is that you work hard every day, bit by bit, to improve your time, to make yourself better. That's how I changed my life. I worked at it day by day. High school was my new start. I made an effort to be more open and more outgoing. I was making progress, and then COVID sent us home. But going to school online alone actually gave me the extra boost I needed. I went back a different person on the outside. I talked to strangers and I made friends. One of them invited me to Children's Aid, and right away I liked how the program worked. We can get what they teach us from other places, but honestly, we don't. Maybe one of the best things is that the facilitators get to know you. It's not that common to have teachers like them who think about you when you're not in front of them. Jessica especially has been supportive of me. She goes out of her way to know what I'm doing. When I won a track medal, she asked for a photo and put it on the wall in her office. That kind of relationship doesn't come along every day. We all want to be successful. I have a lot of interests and goals. I joined Children's Aid to help me develop skills and have new experiences. They've been extra support for me, helping guide me on my journey to adulthood and to whatever I choose to do next.
Here. You can help celebrate the staff by writing a thank you message using the postcards on your table. Show them appreciation using whatever kind words you would like to use. We will collect the postcards and ensure that all staff have an opportunity to view your messages of support. Now please direct your attention to the video screens.
Dan, come in, Dan, come in, come in.
My story started when I found a place to belong.
1, 2, 3.
When Dr. Cipollina cared enough to make my future brighter.
When I discovered that what you tend to today will flourish tomorrow.
The time I chose to be brave and keep trying.
Because one day, it might just pay off. My story.
My story.
My story.
My story.
My story started at Children's Aid.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Dr. Brenda Triplett. I am the Educational Director for Student Achievement and Partnerships for our youth in foster care at Children's Aid. I am part of a team of social justice warriors who work tirelessly to ensure equity for youth in foster care. Equity in education, in housing, in healthcare, all of the ingredients needed to live empowered, safe, and productive lives. I am a retired educator. I worked for 35 years for children and families in New York's public schools. And I entered this field because of the importance of this social justice mission to which I am committed. I promise I'll be able to get through this. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. To be honest, I never expected to be standing here after retiring at this stage in my life. But there is no better place for me to be. This work has actually brought me back to schools, and that's where I met Torian. Torian is the poster child for resilience, endurance, strength, compassion, and forgiveness. She has had a very difficult journey, yet she continues to rise and rise and rise again. Yet she is so young and so wise and so strong, unlike me. Although homeschooled before entering foster care, there were no records to show the education she received. So she entered high school with 0 credits. But amazingly, she actually took and passed all 5 Regents exams. You know, those very difficult New York State exams that our students in New York City have to pass, in addition to passing all of the rigorous coursework. And she passed on the first try, self-taught, and with superior scores. I have been privileged to serve as her mentor, but I get a whole lot more from this relationship than she does. I have witnessed firsthand her strength. I have learned the importance of not giving up, no matter what. The struggle is real for our young people. She motivates me to want to be better. I want to be a better person because of her. And I think that I am because of my association with Torian. She can probably speak for thousands of youth who have gone through the foster care system in New York City and who are thriving in spite of all of those challenges. Esteemed guests, it is my absolute honor to offer to you, to gift to you, Torian Sparrow.
Hello, everybody. I'm proud to be here tonight to honor the staff of Children's Aid, because I will not be where I am today without them. So, I've called on Children's Services twice in my life. First, to get out of my mother's home, and the second time to get out of my stepmother's. There was a time between, though, when my father was alive that things was amazing. My father loved, and he loved me. His vegan diet helped me lose 60 pounds within 8 months and ward off the diabetes that was affecting my health. And I was able to keep the many, many animals that made their way to me, including a husky, guinea pigs, parakeets, a raccoon I let give birth in our basement, a kitten I found in an abandoned house, all kinds of bugs, and my favorite, jumping spiders. Check your plates, I brought a few of them with me. But when my father died, I went from being a homeschooled, unofficial zookeeper and cherished daughter to being the cook, cleaner, and mother in the house. I used my Social Security benefits to buy food for my 3 young half-sisters and took them to a nearby church to eat when I ran out of money. I took them to a thrift store that the pastor owned when they outgrew their clothes. I taught them science, math, and English. I was always cursed at, called a mistake, and the black sheep of the family. I was blamed for my father's death, and it was always held against me that he said his last words to me. I was told it was unfair and that the wife should have been the last person with him. I had a sheet of glass, a vacuum, and furniture thrown at me from the second floor, so at some point I became numb. I told my stepmother I was envisioning suicide. And when I told her that, she said, "I'm suicidal too. You have to figure it out." I was grieving, hungry, exhausted, and angry. I didn't see a future for myself. I had one last chance and I took it. I found myself a home to go to and for a place for my sisters to settle, and I left a note in our social worker's car. 3 days later, I was finally free from that prison. Foster homes can be good, but I was in a bad one when I met Dr. Brenda Triplett at the public high school where I landed 4 years of unsupervised education. The school was supposed to provide breakfast for anyone who needed it, but for some weird reason, they didn't provide it for my side of the school. So I was hungry every morning. Right then and there, Dr. Triplett solved the problem. From then on, I was enveloped in the embrace of Children's Aid. It was quite overwhelming. I went from relying on myself, buying food and hygiene supplies, to having a team, a family, make sure I'm supplied with the basic necessities and then some. I was introduced to my awesome educational specialist, Victor Reyes. I call him my gentle giant. I love him. I had therapists and access to health care. It was the first time in 4 years I was able to have a medical appointment. I had college advisors and leading housing specialists. I had people like Brandon Henry and everyone at the Next Generation Center who helped me identify internships. They called me the minute an opportunity to take care of horses became available. Thank you, Dr. Triplett. She called me like late evening. And through it all, I had my guardian angel, Dr. Brenda Triplett, the mother figure I always wanted. When I needed something, she was there. When I protested I could take care of something on my own, she said, "What's going on in that head of yours that you think all this is your responsibility?" I even had a Thanksgiving dinner with her and her amazing husband. Man, did I feel honored, and that food was bomb. I'm about to start college, Penn Foster. I moved into an apartment. And you should know me well enough now to know what's next for me. I'm hoping to be a vet tech. Before Children's Aid, I did what I needed to do to survive. Now I can focus on what I need to do to thrive. I cannot thank my new family enough. Thank you, and good night.
So much goes into pulling off a night like tonight. I've been working on this myself for about 9 months, but the part that I wish I could have brought all of you to was last week when I was up at 124th Street meeting Torian and Sakona and Darren with Phoebe for the first time. Because you get them for a few minutes from your seats and they're up here, and I got a full afternoon. And what we're doing here tonight is we're just opening a door. And how many kids in this city are just waiting to walk through? It's so important. They're sitting back there, and we're gonna get Sakona and Darren up here again in just a second. But we're just giving them access. I wish I had come out with more bottles of whiskey to sell it at a 10x markup. The second best thing is during the dinner break, I got a text from Malia, who I've been working so closely with for tonight and over the last 5-6 years. And it was agreed upon by the Board of Trustees that they want to put up a one-for-one $250,000 match. For all new and increased gifts here tonight. And so we're going to raise $500,000. in the next 5 minutes. We're gonna do this. This room right here is gonna raise $500,000 to ensure that all the Torians, all the Sakonas, all the Darrens that haven't yet had an opportunity to walk through those doors can. And so, if you have the capacity and you have the conviction, you can start at our top level, at our $50,000 level. Please hold up your paddle right now and invest in these kids. Invest in this work. 267. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. 268. Thank you. That's 100,000. 164. Well done. I might not have asked for enough. I mean, that's $150,000 doubled right there. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Are there 2 more commitments at $50,000? And who knows, maybe we can just go home right after that. Just maybe. At the $50,000 level. Don't go home, though. That's 200,000 doubled. 400,000. Is there one more $50,000 commitment? Is there one more $50,000 commitment? I see some people looking at their paddles. And as you probably noticed, height is not a prerequisite for being one of whatever I am. But I can stand up here for a very long time. But I can also cut you a discount. And if you can make a commitment right now at $2,500, sorry, $25,000. Oh my God. 245, 404, 332. I need one more. I need one more to make the math considerably easier for an English major. Bless my heart. Okay. Don't make it easy. But we just raised. Very good eyesight. That's another prerequisite. But with 3 commitments of $25,000 on top of the 4 commitments of $50,000, that's with the doubling. That's $525,000 raised. And I told you that our goal, and you can clap for that. You're allowed to clap for that. But it's a good thing that the majority of you are sitting down right now, because I'm sure the next words out of my mouth would make you swoon with surprise. But I know that Phoebe and her team they're not going to be like, no, we only wanted to help $500,000 worth of kids. And so just know that every dollar raised from here on out is exceeding expectations. And this is what, Phoebe, this is what you do. This is what your kids do. This is what these young people do. This is what your staff does. And so we're going to take it now down to the $10,000 level, and I want to get as close to $750,000 as possible. If you can hold up your paddle. What's that? 15? Oh, 15? That math is... See, Malia always keeps me on track. We'll get to 10 in a second. At the $15,000 level, at the $15,000 level. 414, thank you. $540,000 raised. 430 is auspicious because that brings us to $555,000 raised. Thank you. Is there 420 brings us to $570,000 raised. 425. What did I say? Oh gosh. 425. Sorry, 420. Didn't mean to give you a fright. But, a little nudge. $570,000 raised. At the $15,000 level, Let's take it now to the $10,000 level. If you can hold 426, thank you. 192, thank you. 339, thank you. 270, thank you. 274, thank you. 271, thank you. 222, thank you. 163, thank you. 337, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, who brought their TI-83 calculator? Did anybody add that up? Don't worry, I did. That was 9 commitments of $10,000 on top of $570,000 raised, meaning we've done $660,000 of fundraising in the last 8 minutes. Malia, is 5,000 next? Yes! Is that for 5,000? All right, for 5,000, just, oh my goodness. All right, keep them up until I call them. Just a second, we're at 670. Oh my gosh. 120, thank you. 128, thank you. Blanket, thank you. I gotta go fast now. 122, 244, 320, 284, 290, 286, 168, 112, that's 10. 151, 134, 143, 210, 139, 433, 308, 198, 428, and 173 is another 10. 178 is 11. 246 is 12. 60,000 plus 50,000 is 110,000. On top of 670,000 is $780,000 raised. And I say this, and it's sincere, but I know that not a single one of you left the house tonight and turned to your loved one and said, I sure hope we get to watch a short guy do math on stage. It's like the world's worst magic show. So he just counted? He did a simple arithmetic? Well, let's see what's compelling about that. And the fact is what's compelling is because what that funding means. And you've just seen such a small part of it. We've done 780,000. My next level is going to be 2,500, and we're going to get way past 800,000. Just know that we are. And just know what a difference it makes on our neighbors' lives. I mean, this is New York City. It's the greatest city on earth. We've come back so strong since the pandemic, but so much work has to be done. I love this place. And it's so great because you can come here and you can enjoy with your friends, but you are making a difference for our neighbors, just zip codes away. And that's the difference, is these kids just grew up in different zip codes than I grew up, and all we're trying to do is give them that access. So we're going to take it to the $2,500 level right now, and I say a blanket thank you, and I count them out and try to keep the math going. But the $2,500 level, if you can commit to this work of giving access, 140, thank you. 312, thank you. 255, thank you. 324, thank you. 432, thank you. That's 191, thank you. That's $795,000 raised. I need 2 more at 2,500. 315, thank you. 166, thank you. That's $800,000 raised. And at our very last, because the show must go on, I don't want to be narrating your nightmares this evening with my voice. Our last level, just for the paddles. It's going to be the $1,000 level. We're going to get there in a second. But if for whatever reason you are feeling shy this evening, if anybody here I can identify with that, I'm a very shy person myself. Or if you had a summer of too much pickleball and you had a rotator cuff injury at the end with all those overhead slams and you can't raise the paddle up, if it's that reason or any other, and you'd like to make a donation, not of 1,000, say of 500 or of 500,000, and you just didn't want to put up the paddle, go to the One Cause link. All the information is on the back of your bidding card. Fill it out. Give it to one of our volunteers. Give it electronically. Go to one of our staff members. But at our last paddle level, I'm going to call out all those. And this is kind of like the opposite of those old Seinfeld episodes. You can double dip. If you gave 25,000, you can also give 1,000. I will not give you the stink eye from across the room like you're putting the chip in the salsa for the second time. So at our very, 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 very last level, if you could hold up your paddle at the $1,000 level, I'm going to count all those right now. We're going to blow past 800, 142, thank you. Oh my goodness, 130, 126, 125, 129, 124, 275, 278, 147, 148, 142, 149, 146, 116, 276. That's 10 right there. 179, 217, 115, 114, 392, 190, 209, 348, 252, 253. That's 20. 249, 248, 434, 197. I need one more to get 115. That's and 249 and 248. That's and 187. Thank you. $828,000 raised. Y'all did it. Y'all did it. And again, I just go up and see the sites, meet the kids, spend some time with it. It really reaffirms why we go to all this work. It really reaffirms, and just because I know how much fun they had in that first segment, and they're really excited to get back out here. It's my incredible honor to invite back to the stage Sakuna and Darren. Please welcome them with all your heart and all your love. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Y'all are awesome.
Wow. Thank you, everyone, for your incredible generosity. We now have the honor of recognizing the exceptional, generous sponsors of tonight's event. By supporting Children's Aid, these people and companies are shaping the future of New York City. Please hold your applause to the end.
First, our ambassador sponsors, the Children's Aid Board of Trustees, Leslie and Ashish Bhutani, Coleman Family Ventures, and Judy and Jamie Diamond. Thank you for stepping up in such an extraordinary way.
A special thank you for our champion sponsors, Beth and Ira Leventhal, Jill and Brian Olson, and Lauren Razuk Roth and John Roth. Your generosity is much appreciated.
And our hero sponsors, Melkus Family Foundation and Amy and Charlie Scharf. A big thank you to our superhero sponsors.
And finally, our mentor sponsors, Shayla Baird, Heather and Felix Baker, Bayer Pharmaceuticals, Susan and Frank Brown, Mika and Russell Diamond, Lisa and Mark Edmiston, Becky and Mike Goss, and the Gray Foundation.
Ellen Jewett and Richard Kaufman, Kathy and Christopher Lawrence, Lynn and Rick McNabb, Yasmin Mock, Jackie Barth and Jay Neidick, Aaron Rosenfeld and Jack Dunn, Visa, Jennifer and Peter Wallace, and Suzanne Waltman and Martin Friedman. Let's give a big round of applause to all of our lead sponsors. I want to remind everyone to write a thank you message for the staff using the postcards on your table. Thank you.
Tonight, we honor the Children's Aid staff. They are 2,000 strong, and together they change the lives of so many young people like me and Darren. Like Fatima Reyes from Maribel's sister campus, who works tirelessly to make sure our families have food, clothing, and mental health support. And Adriana Alba in early childhood, who is the most enthusiastic person you'll ever meet. And Katie Lavolsi from Good Hue, who exemplifies the meaning of dedication at Children's Aid.
Wendy Mateo from Drew Hamilton, who holds everyone accountable to best practices and makes the team better as a result. Joey Lopez, who is incredibly effective at managing the finances and always steps in to help the staff in whatever way is needed, and Eileen Pappert, who is a staple of the Staten Island community and has been a mentor to so many, and Freddie Vasquez, LaShonda Foster Banks, Michaela Grant, Raven Sampson, Angela Sharp, Anna Costa, Yohani Lopez,
Sapphire Patterson, Malia Torres, Jamie Wheeler Roberts, Michelle Roche, Kayla Fana, Jessica Casado, Barbara Morrow.
The list goes on and on, each staff member as critical as the next. Together, they create the magic that is Children's Aid. Tonight, we will hear from one member of the amazing team of 2000. Please welcome Executive Vice President Sandra Escamilla.
I mean, my heart is so full right now. Thank you very, very much for being here tonight. I'd like you to just take a second and turn to the person next to you and just say, thank you for being here. Thank you, thank you. I'm already off script, so I'm gonna get in big trouble. I did want to make a special thank you to Caroline Gallagher and her team, as well as Anthony Ramos and his team. They are the people who made tonight possible. Everything that you see here tonight is because of their goodwill and their effort, so thank you very much. I mean, I am so honored today to be here to be speaking on behalf of Children's Aid, 2,000 strong. A few months ago, I started something called Why Wednesdays, where I'd interview a Children's Aid staff every single Wednesday, and I'd ask them to share with me their why. Georgia Booth, Executive Vice President of the Child Welfare and Health and Wellness Division and my partner in crime, her why is the woman who raised her. She said, their resilience penetrated my bones. Sandino Sanchez, he oversees our workforce development. He said that his mentors told him, good people shape people. Lisandra Agosto, who oversees our compliance and our enrollment in our early childhood, she said that being analytical and observant is just her nature. How lucky are we that she uses those skills every day in the work that she does for us? So what's my why, you ask? My mom and dad migrated here from Colombia. Their names are Ismael and Nubia. They came in the 60s. And as the story is said, my dad only had $27 in his pocket. Imagine that. I was raised in Queens. I'm one of 4. And my mother is one of 15, and my dad is one of 8. I have literally 50 first cousins. Take it in. That's a lot, right? And my house was a hub. It was a hub of love. It was a hub of joy. And it was also a hub of opportunity. I remember growing up, my parents and us really helping people get on their feet. That was a staple in my house. We did that all the time. Fast forward in my 20s, I'm working full-time. I'm going to school full-time. I was a hostess. I worked in a law firm. I worked in a women's clinic. I dabbled in everything because it was really important for me to find something that moved me. And then one day I'm walking home from school and it's pouring raining. I mean, I remember it was pouring raining. And I'm trying to get through this path and I see a homeless man on the ground. And there's a puddle to the left and the puddle to the right. And I'm thinking to myself, what's up with this guy? Why can't he get it together? The man turns around and he's my uncle. Not only is he my uncle, but he's my favorite uncle. I would learn that he was addicted to crack, that he was HIV positive, and that even with the closest knit family and community, he really could not face his sexual identity and he felt culturally ousted. It's amazing how one rupture leads to another, leads to another. I would realize that my uncle felt like he deserved to be on the ground. He couldn't see a future for himself. And my uncle became my why. I figured if I became a social worker and I poured love and support to a bunch of people, that somewhere someone would do that for him or for other people like him. And so as I made my way into the sector, I kept hearing about Children's Aid. It was everywhere, Children's Aid, Children's Aid, Children's Aid. And I've got to tell you that I was amazed by what they were saying, right? That Children's Aid was both cutting edge and that they were really entrenched in the community and of the community. And I started to meet and intersect with Children's Aid staff. And I've got to tell you, I fell in love with their love for kids and community. People that have been here for 30 years had 100% commitment. And people coming in had equally the same commitment. I mean, it was a little bit like a cult. And I thought to myself, what is in the water there? Really, what's in the water there? And then when Phoebe took over the reins and she offered me a job, obviously I took it. And I know exactly what's in the water, and I'm drinking it. First and foremost, thank you. First and foremost, at Children's Aid, we lead with service, right? That's super important, service. Say yeah again. That's right, with service. I think about our deputies, I think about our directors, I think about our social workers, our educators, right? Who are at the same time creating innovative interventions, giving out milk, conducting site visits, all while dealing with the trauma of an 8-year-old with a suicidal ideation. Take that in for a second, because that's a typical day. I think about our HR team, all of our central staff team that are doing everything they can to onboard folks, and yes, sometimes harassing us for our timesheets. Not because they want to, but because they realize that staff at Children's Aid work too hard to not get paid on time. Then there's our facilities team. I mean, you can eat off the floors in our buildings. You can smell every single cleaning product. Fabuloso is my favorite, I've got to say. That type of psychological safety is invaluable in this time. That's right. And our policy team, working with elected officials on a regular basis, navigating relationships in ways that don't jeopardize our funding and relationships, which are both really important. I mean, we have an incredible, incredible staff. The second thing is that Children's Aid understands the idea of sponsorship. As a young woman of color, as a Latina, I would have never gone to Columbia University had someone not seen me as a promising candidate and actually helped me get through the process. I didn't think I was capable. I didn't think that I could afford it. I mean, it was pretty expensive. And I actually didn't see myself there. At Children's Aid, we give people tools, but the biggest thing that we do is we help them see beyond their limitations and contexts. We help them see themselves as assets. And that goes for clients as well as staff. It is our jobs as leaders to keep saying, you are fantastic, you are worthy, you are capable, you deserve access, and then help pave the way. That is sponsorship. Finally, this work is about taking responsibility for community. Instead of seeing the homeless man on the ground and saying, why can't he get up? We ask the question, how did he get there? We ask the question, how can we help him? That's what we do at Children's Aid every single day, every step of the way. To my peers and my colleagues, I see you. I love you, I appreciate you, I see your magic, your dedication, and your love for this work. I feel so honored to be working with you. You are the reason I came to Children's Aid, and you are the reasons that I'm still here, and I'm gonna be here for many more years. And to Phoebe, where are you, Phoebe? I see you. Phoebe, I have seen firsthand, I have seen you grapple with what it means to lead as a white woman during a time of social and political unrest. I have seen you make the investment in examining yourself and asking yourself the critical and difficult questions. You are in this with us, and for that, I thank you. And to all of you, our supporters who raised a whole lot of money tonight, thank you so much. Keep believing in us. Keep investing in us. Keep trusting us. Because if we're going to really bring up the next crop of leaders, we have to cultivate and retain staff who are going to show them the path. So thank you for being here. And I'm going to leave you with one last thing that my parents used to say to me. You come from somewhere and you are going somewhere. And along the way, it is your responsibility to bring people along. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is what we're doing here tonight. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you for your service. I love Children's Aid.
Thank you, Sandra, for being part of our success.
Now please welcome the Children's Aid Board of Trustees, Jill Olson.
Whew. When I agreed to come on toward the end of the evening, I failed to realize that I would be following all these magical and marvelous people, so I apologize and lesson learned. What a great night. I really want to thank you all for being here. Thank you to our benefit committee and to all of our generous sponsors. Before we close out the evening, I'd like to introduce you to a voice that you've been hearing, which is Umer Nino. And she's coming out now.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Amir. I'm 14 years old, and I just started my first year at the High School of Fashion Industries last month. Thank you. In the script for tonight, I'm the voice of God. Voice of God. But really, I'm a kid from East Harlem trying to figure out my own path forward. I'm really passionate about animation, and I always thought about it as a career option. But now I'm leaning more towards fashion design. I have some time to figure it out, though. I'm a freshman. No matter what career path I pursue, I know I will be better equipped because of my experiences with Children's Aid and the staff at Lexington Academy, who make you feel like they really care about you. Like if you miss a day of programming, they look for you the next day and make sure you're okay. My favorite staff member is Karen Leva, who's actually here today. She always makes sure to bring me new opportunities and encourages me to explore. Because of her, I got involved with the Keystone Club, which focuses on leadership development. Through Keystone, I got the chance to work with Ashley Biden. I mean, she's the daughter of the President of the United States or something, We went to Washington, D.C. to advocate for the programs that have made a difference in our lives. And because Children's Aid is a founding member of the Boys and Girls Club of America, I got a chance to travel to California for their annual conference. I have never traveled to any of these places, and it was so incredible. I can't wait to continue exploring the possibilities with Children's Aid. Thank you.
Great job, Umir. Thank you. And now we'd like to bring Sakona, Darren, and Torian back onto the stage for one last round of applause. So tonight, as a result of your generosity, we have raised, my original script said TBD, which looks very tiny now, next to over $1.9 million. $1.9 million. This is a new record for Children's Aid. And I think it's appropriate given the people that we're honoring tonight. If Sandra ever wants to know my why, I think it's pretty obvious. So thank you all for your commitment to Children's Aid. Good night, and we will see you next year.